And there's a lot of coaches that are like, whoa, I can't deal with that kid.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. He's 10 years old.
Like,
you can't just give up on a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You need to coach him.
Welcome back to Connections in Cal. It's your local podcast that is sponsored by ServPro of Longview, Kelso, and Mattress Superstore. I am Katie Keaton, your Southwest Washington realtor.
And I'm Gabby Graves, your hometown lender.
And today we are going to talk about one of our favorite topics.
Youth sports, baby.
She knew exactly what I was going to say. We are joined by Tyler Hogman. He is a coach. He is a dad. He works at Right Line, and he is also trying to start and getting off the ground Neighborhood Heroes. We are here to talk about all of that today, so buckle up. Hi, Tyler.
Hi, guys.
Was that a good intro for you?
That was pretty good.
Okay, so real quick to break the ice, tell us what you do at Right Line.
I've done many things. I started out as a welder. I was a lead fabricator, and now I kind of am like a lead material controller or quality control.
Interesting.
Nothing too exciting, honestly.
My oldest son wants to be a welder, so I might have him hang out with you for a day and see what it's all about.
Don't come to me.
Oh, okay.
He does not want to be a welder, I promise.
Oh, no.
I could see her oldest son also wanting to be a coach at some point, so maybe he can hit you up for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what
I'm
have you coached? Give us the rundown.
I've coached baseball for quite a while and basketball for 5 years now and flag football for a couple years. So
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are you from the Cowlitz County area?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Longview, Kelso?
Longview.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. R.A. Long, Mark Morris?
Both. I went to Mark Morris my freshman year and then R.A. Long. I graduated from R.A. Long.
Very cool. Lumberjack.
Yep.
Lumberjack.
Yep.
Me too.
Ugh, well, I'm a duck, so. Anyway, okay, so I'm sure you started out playing sports, your background in that. Did you play everything, 3-sport guy?
Yep, I did play baseball, basketball, and football. I started at Central, where I'm going to be starting up, so got a lot of roots there.
Yeah.
Central baseball field.
Yep.
Awesome.
Archie Anderson, yes.
Archie Anderson. Okay, you guys kept calling it Central Baseball Field, and I was like, that name is not ringing a bell to me, which
Archie
as a
Anderson,
realtor.
though?
Yes, Archie Anderson,
Okay.
I know.
Yes.
I don't know the man, but I know the field.
That's the formal name.
I don't know the man either, but yes. It used to be called Central Baseball Field because they had their own baseball league there. We had Westerns over at John Knoll,
Okay.
and Central was at Archie Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, when did Central dissolve? Do you know?
I don't know the exact date.
The 2000s maybe?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while
Yes.
now.
Okay. Well, I am familiar with Archie, so I'm going to just assume that that's what you're talking about in my mind.
Yep.
Okay, so you have a sports background, and I'm assuming you probably got into coaching the same way that we all get into coaching, because your kids are playing a sport.
Yep.
Yep. And no one else steps forward, so that leaves you.
Yes. That's exactly how it happened, actually. I tried to not. I actually let Jade take over in the early ages because I just knew I probably didn't have the patience for the 3-4-year-olds. So I was like,
herding cats.
I said, Jade, you can do that, and then we transferred to Little League, and they just weren't operating the way I like to operate. So I stepped in, and the rest is kind of history. I've been full blown ever since, and now I manage I'm the head coach for a team, for the travel team, and I've had a core group for basketball that they request me every year, so I don't really feel like I have a choice.
Nice. Yeah.
Not that I want to, but
we know what that's like too.
I enjoy it, so it feels right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we
can relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
And our husbands both coach. My husband was the same way. He got roped into flag football. That was his first foray into coaching, and he was like, I do not want to do this. So they put him as the secondary coach, and by the end of the season, it was him, and now he's about to start coaching middle school out at Toodle. So.
There you go.
The same in our house, and it's turned into a lot more than coaching, just like you're saying. It's turned into mentorship. I mean, once we realized that these kids are hungry for, for discipline and to learn character, it was so much more than sports. I did not grow up playing sports, and so I didn't ever see myself being a sports mom, let alone a coach, or as invested in youth sports as I am. But once I saw the stability it gives kids and just the routine and the confidence that builds in them, I was all in.
Connections in Kellets is sponsored by locally owned and operated ServPro of Longview, Kelso, the #1 residential and commercial cleanup company in the United States. They help with smoke and fire damage, water cleanup, vandalism cleanup, mold remediation, and more. And remember, as a homeowner, you get final say on who is inside your home. Local home, local company, ServPro of Longview, Kelso. Thank you.
Also, a big thank you to Mattress Superstore, another locally owned and operated business. If you want to get comfortable, you need to get into the Mattress Superstore with their location on Vandercook Way or their new factory outlet store off of West Cowlitz Way. They deliver, they set up, and they always pay the sales tax. Thank you to the Mattress Superstore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of
they need it, yeah.
Yeah, and is that what, so tell us about Neighborhood Heroes. That's the nonprofit you're starting, right?
Correct. So I just caught myself going to practice all the time, and like I said, you get 2 hours to teach the skill, right? To win games and to learn how to play the sport. Young age, they need to learn all the little stuff. So you get caught up in teaching that, but then I was constantly leaving practice, just kind of wishing that I could do more for the kids. There's a large group of kids that kind of need the mindset training behind it. The skill set's only half the job. So that's kind of where Neighborhood Heroes come from.
Learning how to lose.
Yes, it's huge, and I feel like it's gotten out of control a lot in the last couple of years, more so than ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to harness that. Is where I'm going. So
nice.
So do you have any key moments from, your early coaching days where you thought, wow, this is something that I am passionate about and not something that I'm just getting roped into anymore?
Yeah, actually, just this last year or two with baseball, like I said, I think this year was probably the most challenging year yet. The kids, as they get older, they get a little bit more emotional. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I got a ton of skill on the team. Like, that's not really the problem. It's the losing, the crying, the slamming your helmet, and the emotional background is huge. So I actually started the season off by teaching composure to the team, and it took off, and all the dads around the league were kind of messaging me, hey, how'd you harness this kid and get him to control himself, because he used to be like out of control, and now he's so I kind of ran with that, the composure thing. I told them, you guys know what it feels like to win championships. That's like the highest of highs, and you know what it feels like to lose 12 in a row and get stomped on. So that's the lowest. And I said, champions live right in the middle. I said, you can go high and you can go low, but you got to get back to the middle as quick as you can in the composure area. So
absolutely.
I kind of ran with that with the team, and that's kind of like what I've been building around, and it's still super hard, right? They don't click right away to a 10-year-old, so you got to kind of just like
you have to say it more than once, yeah.
Just like anything in life, maybe you're not 10, you could be 35. Like, it takes practice.
And that's the thing that's what I've been teaching the coaches too, is like they expect so much out of these kids.
And instantaneously.
Yeah, and I'm like, as adults, we don't get it as adults, right? It's hard.
Right.
It's hard for us to be composed in a lot of areas in our life. I said, so it's like you can't expect that out of a 10-year-old.
Absolutely.
So having grace and understanding and patience with the kids is huge. So I caught myself coaching adults, just as much as I was coaching the kids. So that's kind of like where Neighborhood Heroes come from, is I kind of want to build a platform for other leaders to step up and be there for the kids more than just as a coach.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, first of all, I just have to say, going back to the beginning, I say this all the time,
mm-hmm.
but if anyone says in a Little League game there is no crying in baseball, I know that they have never watched a Little League game.
Man.
Absolutely.
Because
yes.
there is so much crying.
In
Little League baseball. I'm like, what is happening? This child wouldn't even cry if they broke their arm, and now they're sobbing at the plate.
It's hard. I mean, sports, not just youth sports, but sports in general, it is hard to overcome adversity.
Yeah.
It is hard to it's hard to be vulnerable and go try something that you think you're not very good at, or to try something that you think the opponent they're better than you.
Yeah.
Being okay with failure is hard. I did not lose my fear of failure until 28 or 29,
mm-hmm.
and I've been able to grow as a person and professionally so much more in the last 2 years, than I had decades prior.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you're saying is interesting about having to coach the coaches, because that is so true.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, people do expect so much of kids, and the sad thing is sometimes you see on teams, my son has played, every sport forever, and so you get to know the kids on the team. You get invested in the kids on the team, and it's sad when there's someone with so much potential, but their mindset is what's holding them back, and coaches start giving up on them.
Yep.
Right. And everyone kind of starts giving up on them, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The kid feels like they, are being picked on, they act out, then, it all just builds.
Right.
That is exactly what started it for me is, like I said, I have kids on my team that have the skill, but they're criers, or, they even let cuss words slip out, and there's a lot of coaches that are like, whoa, I can't deal with that kid.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. He's 10 years old.
Like,
you can't just give up on a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You need to coach him.
Absolutely.
So
and sports are so much more than winning. It's about building character. And so how else do you build that character other than making a mistake and teaching right from wrong, and really, like you said, becoming a platform that other adults can come mentor.
Yeah.
It's huge for kids to see the example in real life, see somebody that they look up to, and they act a certain way, they carry themselves a certain way. That makes all the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so what sports does Neighborhood Heroes specialize in, or have you picked a few yet?
So actually, the baseball and basketball, of course, because that's kind of what I'm passionate about. But I got a lot of friends that are like soccer coaches and wrestling coaches, and I feel like there's enough baseball, basketball, football stuff going on. So I plan on, resourcing a warehouse eventually, and within that warehouse, I want to have like a resource center for, jobs and stuff like that for the older kids. But I want to do youth wrestling and Muay Thai in there, and then have a turf area for soccer is what I want to do, because there's no indoor soccer anywhere around here.
Right,
so
there is no indoor soccer.
I feel like that would be huge, and I'm friends with the varsity coaches at RA Long. So
nice.
Yeah, they said it would be huge if I got that, because they've been trying to find a spot and they just can't find one. So
soccer's grown so much here in Longview specifically. The Longview Soccer Club is taken off. Yeah. And it's hard to find coaches. It's hard to find fields because there's so many kids that want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding coaches is half the battle, really. It's like it's super hard, and that's another thing that I want to kind of encourage is more leaders to step up and come help. So,
right.
Well, especially, as we were talking in the pre-interview, your idea for this organization is kind of, like you said, mentoring through sports, kind of a big brother and sister program through sports. And I think there are a lot of people who would love to help, but maybe they don't have kids.
Yeah.
And, maybe they're at an age where they're like early 20s and they're not playing sports anymore, but they would still like some connection to it.
Yes.
But they don't feel like they can go anywhere because it's like, well, I don't have a kid on the team, so why would I ever coach this? Or I don't know if I have the amount of time to coach an entire season or entire team. So you're trying to open it up for those people as well.
I feel like a lot of people lack purpose in today's age, and I feel like having purpose is huge. So I feel like, again, building a platform for people to have a purpose, to mentor kids and to coach kids and be leaders. And there's way too many complainers around here that complain. They want to complain about all the lost kids on the street, and that's another thing that got me started. Is I was tired of seeing all the Facebook posts about all the adults just talking down on kids, throw away the key, like the stabbings are going on and all the drug and overdoses and stuff. And so I'm like, I want to start at the root as young kids, like I want to tell them you don't have to go bad to be good, because I feel like even like us, like a lot of us go through hard times before we figure it out.
Absolutely.
And I think that, giving the kids a foundation at a young age to build off of and encourage like a healthy lifestyle at a young age could be huge,
Absolutely, because you have that foundation to come back to. Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah. But when you have that foundation of character and perseverance, you're going to come back to that when you make mistakes.
Yeah, and like
and that
you
makes
said,
all the difference.
there's so many people that don't want to deal with the kids at a young age. It's like you got to, or you're going to have the lost kids on the street that don't have no direction. So it's pretty heavy. I've been told it's heavy. It's a heavy job, but here I am.
But like a good heavy, like goosebumps heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
it's powerful.
It is those kids that the coaches of some teams like do give up on, and you know what I mean, that those are the kids that end up getting lost because that didn't work for them, or you know, people kind of push them to the side because they had too many issues to deal with. So this is a great program for kids like that, where it's like, we're not going to give up on you, we're working through this with you.
Absolutely. Character development takes time, and like you pointed out, there's a lot of adults that could use some character development and emotional.
I always say the parents or the adults need it more, but the kids deserve it more. So
that could be something that you, as you grow, you could teach like a parenting spectators class.
Oh, but please.
Spectators manners.
It's been.
Oh my gosh.
It's been crazy.
When I feel like it's the worst in basketball because like it basically.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I think it's worse in basketball because football.
You're right.
The parents are so far away from the refs that it's like it doesn't really
Oh,
matter if they yell at the refs.
Listen, I'm coaching third graders,
Yeah.
and I have to coach and ref.
Oh, yeah.
The worst. I don't know
Yeah.
how whoever thought of that was.
No,
not
first of
right.
all, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I feel so bad for the refs. Like, truly. And the parents, they get so riled up.
Especially in basketball. I feel bad for basketball
It's
refs.
It's
I'm
super
like,
bad.
why would you ever sign up for this?
Baseball umpires are it's pretty bad for baseball too, but
Yes.
but basketball is definitely up there.
You're like, that was a travel.
Yeah.
You're right. I guess for football, it's more of a distance thing. I didn't think of that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And baseball, it's slower. So most of the time they get the call right because it's just like, you're only looking at one thing, maybe two.
Yeah.
But basketball, oh my lord. Yeah. Can you please add that on, like a class for the parents?
A
Yes.
spectators manners course.
Another thing, too, is that even if kids do have involved parents, a lot of kids don't want to listen to what their parents say. And it's really important to have some other adults around, adults that are saying the same things that their parents are saying, or you know what I mean?
Someone they think is cool. Like, my kids don't think I'm cool. I'm super cool, but my kids don't believe it, and so they might think you're cooler.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've all had that where it's like I've been telling my child the same thing over and over and over again, and then they come back to me and say, "Oh, so and so told me this. Isn't that crazy?" And I'm like, "Actually, no, it's not crazy because I've been saying it to you for months." But I'm so glad it finally clicked. You know.
So I deal with it all the time. So funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so wrestling, hopefully indoor soccer, baseball, basketball. Where will this be located?
Right in the heart of Archie Anderson.
Awesome. Okay, Archie Anderson Park, and that is owned by the city, and and it's an existing park. So tell us about that partnership.
So I reached out to H&A.
And that is
the Highland Neighborhood Association. They're kind of like they're their own nonprofit board, like a resource center down there in the Highland area.
Okay.
They kind of oversee that area. When I reached out to them, they didn't really have any plans. They might have had plans, but they didn't have anything in motion down there. And I brought my portfolio and my ideas, and they were just like, wow, you're a breath of fresh air. This is exactly what we needed down here. I think my plans and ideas are probably a little bigger than they ever imagined, but
that's good.
Yeah, I think the town needs more. Like I said, there's plenty of places to drop your kid off, and there's plenty of things for kids to do, but there's not much direction and leadership around that. So like I said, I plan on resourcing a warehouse and having the basketball courts going again. I want to get those covered, and I'll have the baseball field. So I'm going to work with Mike Street and the Central Sandlot. So I'll be taking that over hopefully next year.
Central Sandlot's been has brought a huge comeback to that park.
It's been huge.
And you're going to take that over next year, you said?
I'm going to partner with Mike, and we're going to keep it going. So
awesome. Yeah. So some kind of partnership between Central Sandlot and Neighborhood Heroes.
Yeah.
And give us a quick just synopsis of what Central Sandlot is, just for the people listening if they haven't heard about it.
Yeah. Sandlot is kind of like a skill development thing for kids that might not be confident enough to be on a team, or might not have the resources to be on a team at Western or John Knoll or Kelso or whatever. So they created Central Sandlot as like like I said, a skill development place for kids to come.
For baseball.
For baseball, yes.
Awesome.
To just come and enjoy the game and learn the game. And Kane with FCA, they kind of have sponsored that in the past. And Kane's done a good job at introducing Jesus and God within it. So he takes pride in that. And that's been very cool. I went to a couple of them, and it was just like super powerful, and it's been good. I hate to see it go away, so I'm gonna do what I can to keep it afloat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
they did some summer events, correct?
They just do 2 months in the summer.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But they do like neighborhood barbecues, things like that.
Yep.
Very
end of
neat.
the season party. They had a bunch of pop blow up water things and stuff. So.
Oh, cool. Okay, so then Central Sandlot Baseball, you want to try to get the basketball courts covered.
Bring 3-on-3 tournaments back to the basketball courts.
Very
I
cool.
think that would be huge. Like I said, I have so many ideas, and like flag football there's a huge field down there. I feel like football skills and stuff like that would be huge down there. So
I'm seeing such a big tie-in from our last episode. Last episode we interviewed Rhonda Black, and she's part of Heaven, helping every veteran in need.
Yeah.
And she and her husband started that. It was just a passion of her husband's, and he like dreamt about it, and they're like, we got to do this. And it was people with a full-time job, running a business, just feeling so pulled to do something for the community.
Right.
That's hard. It's time-consuming. It's not
is.
fun. You already said your wife is like, what are you taking on?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot, but it reminds me of this, where it's like, I see a need. I feel a passion for it. It's not easy. It's probably not that fun in the beginning to get it set up. You have a full-time job. You're coaching your own kids' sports, but you feel called to get this going for the community in general.
Right.
exactly, just that. Yeah.
So how can people help you get started?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Is it something where, like, let's get people following you on social media to get updates? Like, what
Sign
is
up
your
to be
call
mentors
to
/ coaches.
help? Yeah.
I think for now a big following would be huge. I'm terrible at asking for help. Like I said, I meet with Kane all the time, and he's always like, "What can I help you with? I'm here for you." And I'm like, "Gosh," I'm just like, I don't even know what to ask for. So
The worst they can say is no, and it's not that bad to hear no.
I'm big on that. I'm not scared to ask for help. I just don't know like what to ask for. Like I don't know exactly. I feel like I can take on everything myself, and then I go to bed at night and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is heavy. So I think for now a following would be huge. Lots of plans. Like I said, the Muay Thai will be the first thing to take off. We have the building. The building down there at Archie Anderson will be open hopefully next week.
That's soon.
They had a power problem. It was supposed to be open a long time ago, but they had a power line fall, and the city's been working on getting the power going. So the website and the Muay Thai will be launched soon, and then I plan on just building around that.
That's a big step forward. You're launching your first sport, and then you have your website built out.
Yep.
You're official.
Yep.
Neighborhood heroes, people.
Neighborhood heroes.
Too far to back down now. So.
So do you have a Facebook, Instagram?
I do, yep.
TikTok?
Yep.
Okay. You have TikTok too?
I do.
Does Jade make you dance?
No.
Jade, make him dance. We keep referencing Jade. Okay. Jade Hogman, Jade Cooper. If you don't know her, you should. She is hilarious, dynamic. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's amazing. Tyler,
She's Tyler's wife.
You
She
did a
left
good
that
job.
part out. But
she's been a huge support. Probably couldn't do it without her because there's a lot of people that talk about wanting to help and a lot of people flake off, but she's always there to kind of harness me and keep me going. So
she helped make the binder.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
It's
Katie
been
and
huge.
Katie and I know.
Yeah. I'm really good at writing out the plays on the piece of paper to get laminated.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my job. We asked you what you need, and you did say following. I think that's a good start. But you also said that you're starting to work on getting a board put together.
Yes.
And I think that would be a really great call. Like, if you are listening, if you have made it this far into the podcast, if this feels sounds like something you are called to do, it's bigger than just sports. It's about mentoring, and it's about catching these kids before it's too late for them.
Right, and you don't necessarily have to have a coaching background to be on a board. If you have a financial background, you might make a great treasurer. If you are a super organized person and you're great with paperwork, you're going to make an amazing secretary.
Or if you are listening to what Tyler is saying and you're like, oh, he needs to call this person and he needs to call that person, and if he talked to this person, they could probably do that.
Yeah.
If you're someone with the connections that feels called, maybe a vice president. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? I think that is a great place. Like, since your board has not been created yet, if you're out there listening, you should reach out and see if it's something you could get involved with.
Yeah.
Is that fair for me to say?
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah, go follow the
Thank
page
you,
and
that's
send them a
perfect.
message.
Yeah.
We'll figure out for Tyler how to ask for help.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yes. Is there any other big message or takeaway that you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
I think the only thing I'd like to mention is, like, I tell everybody I meet that we're dealing with like a new generation of kids that not many people can understand. I think they're kind of hard to understand, and that's probably what kind of like pushes adults away, is that they don't know how to handle it. I always say we're dealing with a YouTube generation, right? So within my program, I plan on having like a YouTube channel. I want to get kids mic'd up and do interviews with kids and make it exciting. And I think that's going to be huge for them.
They'll love it.
I think that'll help. That'll help engage the kids and.
Well, actually,
and
that brings me to one other question. What age of kids are you thinking you want to focus on?
I have put it out there that I want to target like 6, 7, 8 to 17, 18.
Okay.
You know, if a kid comes and they need it, they'll get it. I don't want to like put a restriction on it really, but the younger the better, definitely. I think the younger the better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if someone maybe wants to get on a wait list, or at least wants to show interest that their kid wants to do something eventually, maybe Muay Thai is not for them, but they want to know more information, do you have like a newsletter or anything yet, or just still follow along with social media?
I do have a little bit of I do have like a flyer type of thing. My messages are always open. You can contact me and I'll kind of direct you where it's going. Like I said, it's still very much developing, and I'm going to build around the Muay Thai and let the mentorship kind of organically happen.
Yeah.
I'm still building a mentorship portfolio. Trying to do everything all at once is pretty huge. And
He needs help, people.
It's heavy.
One bite at a time.
I will need
So
I will
only
need help.
gonna eat an
Like I
elephant.
said, I don't want to try to do too much at once and it
Right.
get too overwhelming to where I can't, keep stepping forward. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do a little bit at a time.
We got to get that board in place.
We can relate to that a lot. So Katie and I, we can relate to that a lot, whether it's in real estate or this podcast. And so tell him the vases story, Katie.
It's my favorite
Inspire
story.
this
I was
man.
supposed to remind you guys.
It's my
to bring that
favorite
up.
We already
story.
told him. See?
No, you didn't. You mentioned it. You
But
said
yeah,
it.
okay.
You said to bring it up.
I have mentioned this in our other podcast, not your Mother's Housing Market, but I'll go ahead and tell it right now too. Okay, I love a study. I love a scientific study. That's my thing. So there was a scientific study on this group of high school pottery, like a high school pottery class. And at the beginning of the semester, they broke the high school pottery class in half. And this group, they said, your objective for the semester is to make the best vase that you can make. And the other side, their objective was to make the most vases they could make. And it was like, okay,
I
at the
love
end of the
split.
semester,
The split studies are always great.
yes, at the end of the semester, who had the best vase? And I, being a perfectionist and someone that procrastinates, if I don't think I'm going to do a good enough job at something, I was like, well, obviously the group that was supposed to make the best vase. But that is not the case. It is the group that made the most, because their first vase was terrible, but their last vase was great because they
Right.
just kept doing it and figuring out how to do it as they went along.
And that's been our mantra, because Katie and I,
pretty
Yeah.
Katie and I will sometimes be perfectionists, procrastinate things, and then we will stop ourselves from ever even starting.
Yes.
And why? Like, just do it. If it's wrong, you'll tweak it and just keep tweaking as you go.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
keep making vases. So that's what this podcast is. That's what Neighborhood Heroes is going to be for you.
Yeah.
Just one bite at a time, and maybe we'll invite you to get a vase tattoo with us.
Let's do it.
'Cause that's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, before we finish this up, just a quick something we do every episode. Tell us some of your Cowlitz County favorites. Like, what is your hidden gem in Cowlitz County? Your favorite place to eat, or your favorite place, somewhere that you think is underutilized, anything like that. Just give us some of your favorites.
Jeez, me and Jade are big foodies, so our free time spent going out to eat, and
What's your fave?
Oh man, I was just talking about Porky's today. I haven't been there in a while, but Porky's is definitely a big one for us.
So
Yes.
good. Beer tea soup.
Heartsease. We live out on Ocean Beach, so we're close to Heartsease. That's a huge one.
So good.
And then I was very surprised. I told you I met with Frank Morrison. Do you guys know about his programs and stuff?
I don't. He's the executive director of Community House on Broadway. I do know that.
So he has like 4 buildings down there that he owns, and he walked me through. They're kind of like all connected. Like you got to go across the street and stuff, but you kind of, and he is developing and I could be wrong, a housing place for kids on the streets type of thing, and homeless parents and homeless kids.
Right.
He's got that. Kane connected me with Frank because he kind of has the same passion as I do as helping kids, but he has a huge, I'm terrible, I don't remember the name of it, but it's right down there. It's close to here.
What kind of food is it?
It's not food. It's another program. Similar to.
I thought we were still talking about.
Okay,
food.
yeah.
No, sorry.
But underutilized is where you're going. Okay,
Yeah,
so is it core?
Nope, they're all connected.
Ascend?
It's Ascend.
Ascend.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, it's on the corner of Commerce and Broadway.
And it has the big, pretty square letters.
Yes.
Have you walked through there before?
I haven't.
We did for United Way Day of Caring. Was it
crazy.
Last year or 2 years ago? We that was the project that my group got put on, where you go downstairs and it's like all the video games in that area.
You got a gym upstairs.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
It's crazy, and I'm like, how have I never heard of this before?
You're right. Not enough people know about that.
So
Very
yeah,
true.
it's pretty cool over there. I thought I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super cool. So
Yeah.
We'll have to
Maybe
check
we
that
need to
out.
talk to him next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank Morrison, where are you at?
That's always a question too. We're like, who should we talk to in the future?
Who would you suggest be a guest?
I think Frank would be huge, and then Kane. I told you guys didn't know about Kane.
Yeah.
I think Kane from FCA would be huge.
Okay.
I think the town loves him. If you don't know about him, you will love him. So he's a good
All
guy.
right.
He's helped me a
That sounds like
lot.
our type of person.
Yeah, you guys would like him. He's helped me a lot. So
Awesome.
definitely shout out to Kane.
Okay. Shout out to Kane.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
we are
thank
really
Yes.
excited to see where this program goes. Like I said, Gabby and I, we're big youth sports fans.
Yeah.
And youth sports complex, youth sports mentorship, really
Yes.
what this town needs, what this county needs.
Absolutely. So, everyone, thank you for watching. Remember, Connections of Cowlitz is brought to you by Serpro Longview of Kelso and Mattress Superstore. And we will be back with you on the next one.